Kia ora, ngā mihi maioha kia koutou katoa. Kia tau mai ki tēnei wāhanga te pāhotanga mataora o ko Auaha Live. Koutou kua whiturangitia, haere koutou, haere atu rā. Hoki noa kia tātou te honga ora, tēnā no tātou katoa. Ko Sandra Julian ahau, ko Ngāti Mutunga, Pautama, Ngāti Tama, Tiatiawa o Ke Iwi. Geez, I should know this. A very warm welcome to you all, and thanks for joining us for this third edition of Auaha Live. I'm Sandra Julian, founder of Auaha Business Event Agency and approved professional conference organizer. Here on Auaha Live, I'll be interviewing the many talented people that dedicate themselves to the business events industry here in Aotearoa. And today's guest is no stranger to the business events industry. I know when I met her, it was many years ago when I attended my first meetings trade show. It was in Auckland. Their stand was themed as a chef's kitchen with a menu of options. They were dressed in white chef's coats with really tall hats. So that is my first introduction, and it's been a long relationship ever since. So I would like to introduce you to today's guest, Louise Ryburn, Managing Director for Celebrity Speakers. Louise, welcome to Auaha Live.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's great to have a chat today. So wonder if you could start us off by telling us a bit about your journey and what led you to do what you're doing right now.
Cool. Well, it's over 20 years I've been doing this now. I pretty much came, and I remember meeting you at meetings too, and that particular chef's theme we had. So yeah, I pretty much came straight out of university. I studied marketing and business. It was something I loved, and this exciting sounding ad was advertised to work at a speakers bureau, which I had no idea what that meant. Never heard of such a business. Didn't know that kind of job existed, but it sounded glamorous. It's not that glamorous, but it sounded glamorous at the time, and that's how it all started. So I started off in a coordinating role, so doing all the logistics around speaker bookings, became an account manager, working with clients, and then general manager, and now managing director. Long story short.
Yeah. And so over those years, like when Celebrity Speakers started, was that Deb's business? And then
yes, so Debbie Tours, so a lot of Debbie's Tours founded the business 31 years ago, and a lot of people know Debbie still. She's obviously sadly passed away now, but she's still well remembered in the industry. So she was one of the founding members of SINS and the National Speakers Association, and she was instrumental in setting up the speaking industry that it is today. She set up professional standards, and she changed the whole game from speakers getting a meat pack and a petrol voucher was what it was when she started. So she really helped to change the game and make it a professional thing for people to do, and a lot of people make a living off it now. And so Debbie started the business, and then I started working with her. I worked with her for 6 years, and then sadly she got cancer, and that was that, which was very sad because she was passionate about the industry and gave everything to it. And anyone who knows her knows how much she gave to it and supported it, and yeah, loved it. She loved it.
And so how have you seen the speaker bureau industry change just, in the last 20 years since you've been here, given that, Deb was really instrumental in getting a speaker bureau up and running, and And now it's a go-to. Like, you have other competition, which you probably didn't have back then. So how have you seen the industry change over this 20 years?
Yeah, it's changed so much, and it's very trend driven as well. So when I was coordinating a booking, I would be booking up to 10 speakers for one event, and you'd get a brief, and after there'd be a long road of establishing it to what it got to. But then that was in the heyday before the global financial crisis, and corporates would contact us and say, we've got this much money, get me the best speakers. And it was as simple as that. Not as simple as that. But, and we would be booking 5 to 10 speakers for a lot of events. Now you book 1 to 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky. It's very different, and every speaker has to show their value, what's in it for the audience, what are the takeouts. That's our job, to be able to let the client know about that and match the right speaker for that. But it's a lot more involved now than it ever was. And which I think it should be when people are making such an investment as well.
And do you find people are coming to you with they know the speaker that they want, or they're coming to you with more of a topic where they're like, who would you recommend to speak on this topic? What?
Yeah, we have 1 in 10 of our inquiries where they know who they want. So the rest of the time, and that's usually the more celebrity MC, where someone's quite specific. Yes, we want this person to MC our dinner. Whereas the majority of our speaking, we've got this theme, we've got this issue, we've got a problem, who can solve it. So that's when we come in and recommend who the right fit is.
Yeah, I'm probably that small minority that fits into the, can I please have this person?
Oh, cool, you make it easy.
Not all the time, but yeah, most of the time. And so if someone hasn't used a speaker's bureau before, what would you say would be the advantage of coming to you first before going down a rabbit hole of endless research and trying to reach out to speakers?
Yeah, that would be the big one, is the amount of research and you have to do if you don't come through us. And the fact is, if you're doing the research on a speaker's website, for instance, of course they're only going to tell you great things about themselves and have their best testimonials and all that kind of thing. Whereas we know our speakers, we've seen them, we know what value they can add, we know what they can't do, what they can do. We know the little things about their backgrounds that might make them the perfect fit or not the perfect fit. So a lot of it is the research that we can help with. It's a backup protection, so it happens very rarely, thank goodness. But if a speaker can't do it because of sickness or anything, we're there to step in and find a replacement, which can be quite stressful for an event manager if something happens on the day because of fog or whatever. They don't have to worry about that. We'll sort it out. It's the trust.
Yeah, that was like super valuable for the event that we had. Maybe it was just last year. There was something that happened. I can't remember what it was, but our speaker that was coming out of Auckland couldn't make it to the event. And so you guys helped us get a replacement MC for an event that we had, and someone based in Wellington. I think it might have been flights were cancelled or something like that. That was just completely out of all of our control. But yeah, that was a complete saviour for us on that occasion.
That's good to know. And it does happen, unfortunately, because we get such bad fog and all kinds of things in New Zealand, it does happen. And we all step in. There's 10 of us, so we've got the resources, we've got all the connections, we've got the resources to jump in and fix issues like that. So that is a big plus for people. And there's all the things we do, which if you go direct, you can't be protected from. I mean, speakers are amazing, but sometimes they just don't have the time to reply to the emails you're sending them, to let you know exactly what travel they want. So we can get rid of all of that toing and throwing for you and make it a lot more seamless.
And If someone wanted to become a speaker and get on the speaking circuit, how do they go about connecting with you at Celebrity Speakers, and what's that process look like?
There's a few ways. We do have a lot of people contact us directly, which is quite amazing how many people want to be a professional speaker in New Zealand. You wouldn't think there'd be that many, especially I wouldn't think that many people, because I hate the thought of public speaking. So anyone who wants to do it, I admire. So a lot of people do contact us, and there's quite a lengthy process, and that is because it is crucial to us, because our reputation is on the line every single time a speaker steps on stage, and the trust that our clients have with us is our business. Our business is the trust. So if we stuff it up, it's big. So we make it quite hard, intentionally, because we only want the best speakers. So there's quite a process that they have to go through, sending us all the information we need. Then we have to see them present, obviously. And then a lot of people get referred to us by clients and speakers that refer other speakers. That's a great way, because if you're getting a referral from another great speaker, you know you can rely on that probably. And the other thing is we're always talent scouting. So if there's a trend happening in the market and something's coming out that people want all the time and we don't have enough speakers to cover that, we'll be out there looking for new people. And then, we're just always looking at, an example is Leah Malone, who's the Paralympian. We just spotted him doing amazing interviews after he won the gold medals at the Paralympics in 2016, and he had never done a speech before, really, only a couple of things for sponsors, but his interview style was so amazing, and it's such a great backstory that we contacted him, and now he's one of our most in-demand speakers. So there's a few ways it happens.
Yeah, nice, because that's always like the intriguing part is, how do you get to have an agent? So someone might be speaking on a certain topic in a given industry, but they're like, oh, how do you get to become like a celebrity speaker?
Yeah, it's a funny business. And a lot of our speakers aren't celebrities at all. A lot of them are entrepreneurs, business people, wellness speakers. So they're not a celebrity in the true sense of the word. It's really probably only more our MCs that are celebrities.
And do you find that people, for their conference, they're looking for that celebrity status when it comes to an MC? Is that an attraction factor?
I think with MCs it is, especially for like a gala dinner where there's ticket sales or they need a bit of a draw card. But it's not something that comes up for when people are looking for speakers much at all. They're far more interested in the content and delivery than how celebrity status they are, unless again it's a draw card thing.
Content. Like, I think 3 things should happen at an event. The content should be great. The community environment that you create should be intentional, and then how you're creating the connections in that community is the other like key factor. And those are, like, I think those are the 3 things why people decide to go to an event. Is they're going because it's great content, but they're going because it's a community of like-minded people and they're going to connect with others.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree, and that's where I think the right speaker is crucial. So we really, really do our best to understand who will be in the room. It's really not about the event manager booking the speaker might not be a representative of the actual audience. So we have to be really careful to know what the audience wants and needs are, because if you don't have the right speaker, I'm sure you've seen a few duds at the time. And it's not even that they might not even be a bad speaker. They just might not get the audience. They just might not connect. They just,
just the fit might be completely off. Totally. So over COVID, you did this really, like, I thought it was brilliant, you introduced a program called Mentor Me. So do you want to just share a bit around what the program was, and how it came about?
Yeah, sure. So like most people in our industry, shit really hit the fan for us. And pretty much all our events were cancelled or postponed for the whole year. And it was pretty scary. So it was more a matter of what are we going to do? We have to do something to help our clients, help our speakers, and help us. So it was a lot of ideas, and it was actually talking to Cecilia Robinson, one of our speakers, who's actually a mentor of mine, who started My Food Bag. She just basically said to me, what do you have that people need right now? And it came down to the knowledge that the speakers have and the experience. And then she helped me evolve it to Mentor Me.
Nice.
And just a lot of input from the team here. And that's how it came about. And then,
so how long did you spend in that development phase of, here's the concept, let's go to market?
It was 2 weeks from the time I had, and that was because we had to move fast because people needed help now. That was right in the lockdown period.
Yeah.
And because we didn't have any events happening, we had plenty of time. It's not funny. I'm glad I can laugh about it now. But so we had the time to just fully commit to it and make it happen pretty fast.
And did your sign up by your speakers into the program, was that pretty easy?
Yeah, they loved the idea. We selected people based on who we knew had the right style and experience that would be needed, and with people we knew who genuinely want to help people. So it was pretty easy for them to agree because they were the right fit. And then we had to try and get a diverse mix of people too, from different backgrounds and areas of expertise and things like that. And
and so then the uptake, once you launched it, was the uptake instantaneous?
No, it wasn't. It was, and at the same time, a lot of other products entered the market which were free, provided by government or different agencies. So we had to change and then realise what our market was, and then organically our market came too, because the small business people were going direct to the free services naturally. And so we sort of naturally went into more of a board consultancy level. And so it worked out well.
So more of the CEOs coming to you to help bring the mentors into a board level? Or yes. Was it like the chair of the board going, maybe we need to do this?
Yeah, a bit of all of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So then they'd go in and talk to a round table.
And what were they specifically looking for? Was there a theme across what they were looking for from the celebrity speaker mentors?
Yeah, mainly around strategy to help them move forward, like steps. It still is a crazy time, but right then in lockdown, just no one really knew what was going to happen next. And neither did our mentors, because no one knows what's going to happen next. But it just helped to give them some direction and know how to plan. And
having someone to be a bouncing board and share your thoughts and ideas with, and have someone that's completely removed from your organization or from your business, but has got enough business now to be able to then reflect that back at you or have a critical eye on it.
Definitely. Exactly.
And so how long does that mentor relationship last for? Was it like a one-off, like hour consultation, or was it an ongoing?
Most of them were one-off, but there's been a couple that in that one that's been quite well going on, which is great. But most people tended to have this is our problem, can you help us? And it was really, that was the beauty of it. It was these mentors are so skilled and experienced, You didn't have to muck around with a lot of toing and froing. They're really direct people in a good way. I know just from the mentoring sessions I had with Cecilia, I got more out of an hour with her than you could have in a year with someone.
Yeah.
So it's just, they've just got that experience, and that they're not afraid to tell you.
Yeah.
There's no beating around the bush.
Yeah, well, if you're successful in business, you haven't got any time to beat around the bush. You just want to get to where you need to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And so is the Mentor Me program carrying on post-COVID? Is that something that you think you'll wrap into your services?
Definitely. It has, in all honesty, just naturally died off as people are just working on bigger and other things now. But we're going to keep it because it still has a place, no matter what someone's business issue is. So we will definitely keep it going.
Yeah, like I think that's it's a fantastic idea and a fantastic service, because when you're like, oh, I've got this issue, or how do I work through this? Who can I just get an hour from? And it just Cecilia on her own, you know, even though all the other speakers that you've got, just an hour with her would be like phenomenal, really.
Yeah, truly is. I can testament to that myself.
Yeah. Cool. What else is on the radar for celebrity speakers as we move into level 1 and hopefully down to level 0, maybe before the end of the year or next year?
This year, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're just really taking each day as it comes, really. But thankfully, because we've been in business for 30 years and we've got such a strong team with such solid relationships with their clients, we are managing to just soldier on. And we are finding different markets. So we're not just the big events and conferences now. Our speakers are going in-house to a corporate, just to their lunchroom, to their whatever event they're having. So, and that's happening quite a bit for us. So that's been a lifesaver. So we're working really hard to find different segments in the market that I guess we're always there, but we never, this is the beauty of what's happened, the silver lining, I guess, to what's gone on, is that we've had the time and ability to look at different ways of doing business that we didn't look at before. And we've found other paths, which is, the speakers just going in, more consultancy type service, more workshops, virtual stuff is happening for us, and we are starting to book a bit for next year too. So just trying to find a mix of everything.
And are you finding that virtual is still quite popular, even though we are unrestricted in New Zealand here around the numbers that we can have to an event? Are you finding that virtual is still a popular option?
It's definitely moved. It's less than it was through April, May, June. It's definitely decreasing, but it's still there. In fact, just thinking of the inquiries I've seen today, we have a team share where we all help support each other with ideas, which is the other beauty of working with us. Just throwing it in there is that there's over 100 years experience with all of us added up, and we all collaborate for ideas. So you're not just getting one person's ideas, you're getting the whole team's. And I'm just thinking of the ones that have come through today, and they've all been virtual.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm finding that is still the case, because there's still this caution and hesitation around traveling too far. And returning to events, even though we can, so it's just because we can, are we? And I'm definitely not seeing that return to in-person events, even though our restrictions, we don't have any.
Yeah, it's slower than we had thought going back to the live events, but it's definitely on the up again, thank goodness. And I just think people are trying all different things now too, whereas it's even if they can do the live, people are just open to trying new things now. It's like opened up everyone's minds to what can be done, and so people are trying different different things.
Yeah, we're definitely all thinking outside the box around how can we do business and how can we take some of the learnings that we've had through COVID and how do we bring that into our business and either create the new revenue stream or create the new service product, or how do we change up our business and move forward with that. So I mean, I found it really exciting to some degree around watching how people are evolving and then deciding that this is going to be part of their business as usual moving forward. You've seen some really innovative stuff happen.
Yeah. I can't remember which speaker who it was who said to me now that never let a good problem go to waste. So I try and find the silver lining and positives and innovation and everything.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Events back, people, please.
Come on. Well, when we first went into COVID, I was like, we'll be in events last quarter of this year. We will be back in a venue doing events. That was my prediction. And then I had someone said to me, "Oh, Sandra, you're dreaming. Like, that's not happening. It's not happening this year. Events aren't happening this year." I'm like, oh, maybe you're right. But I'm still holding on to the fact that that we will. And now we're down to no restrictions and it's only July. So I'm like, I was on point.
They'll come back. They've got such a strong place. We want to be connected to each other.
We really do. Yeah. All right. One question that I ask all of my guests on the show is what has been your strongest aha moment in business?
I've actually been lucky to have a few because I'm seeing speakers all the time. So I'm always hearing these amazing things. So I've had a lot of aha moments, but one that has stuck with me and was very real to me was the night Debbie passed away on Boxing Day in 2006, and I went and saw her on Christmas Eve, and it was obvious that things were close to coming to an end. And I just said, I was, obviously very upset. And I said to Debbie, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And she couldn't really talk. She wasn't up to talking and things. But she just got out to me, just be you. You'll know what to do. I was like, well, that's not very helpful. I didn't feel like it was helpful at the time, but it has been the biggest thing that has got me through. Every time I've got a decision to make, something's tough, I just hear that in my head, just be you, you know what to do. And it gives me I know who I am, I know what I believe in, I know what's right. So I can use that in everything. And it's really, really helped me. And the other thing it taught me was that the power of having someone who believes in you, what that does for you with your confidence and your every self-empowerment. So it was a big moment for me, and it's helped me through pretty much most days in business.
Yeah. And that is so important. Once you just really lean into who you are, then things will happen. I love that. That is such a good message. And that's such a nice little thing to have on your shoulders every time you've got a tough decision to make. It's beautiful. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Louise, for joining me here today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and sharing the celebrity speakers message with the wider community. And nice to see the face behind the organization, but like all my other guests, everyone is like, oh, I'm not sure about going in front of the camera because I'm so used to like being backstage and taking that backseat and making everyone else look good. But I really appreciate you agreeing to come on, have a conversation. I love what you're doing at Celebrity Speakers, so I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for doing what you're doing. So, and for being a wonderful client for so long. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right, everyone, that brings us to the end of another week here on Auaha Live. If you want to join us again next week, no, not next week, week after, because it's every fortnight, we will be back on the 7th of August with another guest, showing you more faces of the incredible people that put together some of the great events that we have here in Aotearoa. So tune in next time, bring your friends along, and we will have more real conversations with real people. In the meantime, go and have a lovely weekend, and we will all see you soon. Mā te wā.